Jen, Brent, it's an annoying, potentially dreaded time of year for many, and we're in it right now, tax season. But could it be a little bit easier for some come next year? Well, that's what lawmakers are weighing at the Capitol today as they heard public feedback on Governor Ned Lamont's historic tax cut proposal.
I have a rare privilege this morning, something that very few secretaries of OPM have ever had. I get to ask for your support for what would be the largest legislative tax cut package in the history of our state.
Monday, the legislature's Finance Committee heard from state officials, policy advocates, and residents on Governor Ned Lamont's tax cut proposals.
Considering the state's strong financial position, the governor believes it is time for broad-based tax relief for Connecticut's residents.
This bill includes Lamont's three major proposals: a historic reduction in the state income tax, permanently increase the state's earned income tax credit by about 10%. And lastly, the governor's proposal restores the state's pass-through entity tax credit for business owners.
When you start putting $200, $300, $400, $600 into somebody's annual income, it impacts them in a way that, hey, it takes the pressure off. I'll say, to some extent.
The Lamont administration estimates the state income tax cut alone would impact around 64% of tax filers in the state, and those taxpayers could save $440 million collectively a year.
We recognize that Connecticut has the dubious distinction of being one of the highest tax burden states in the country, and this is a way long-term to try to change that.
While this measure does have bipartisan support, if approved, these tax cuts wouldn't take effect until next January. State Republicans want this implemented as soon as possible.
Taxpayers are going to start feeling that this year specifically.
And this bill still needs to be voted out of committee to advance to the floor. Lawmakers told me they'll take into consideration public comments heard today, but don't believe it'll lead to any amendments or changes to the proposal. Brent.